Dear students, we are here today with the next topic of the unit genetics, in which we have already discussed about the Mendelian inheritance and the post-Mendelian concepts like multiple alleles, codominance, incomplete dominance, etc. Now today what we will be doing, that the chromosomal basis of inheritance we shall be studying, and here I have to tell you that in Mendel's dihybrid cross the F1 double heterozygote always showed independent assortment of two pairs of genes at the time of gamete formation. Actually, in fact, the law was only justified because the two genes were not linked with each other. What I mean to say by linked with each other, that is, they were not present on the same chromosome. During Mendel's days, it was unknown that genes are carried by the chromosome. Truly speaking, the chromosomes themselves were practically unknown and were not seen under the microscope. Mendel, while analyzing the result, was quite unaware of the details such as cell division and therefore didn't talk of the physical counterparts of the factors. Still, Mendel's hypothesis regarding the inheritance of the factors agree quite well with our present day knowledge regarding the role of the chromosomes, mitosis, meiosis, genes, DNA for the transmission of the characters. Now, after the discovery of Mendel's laws of inheritance, scientists turned naturally to the problem of mechanics of processes they observed. The what of early 20th century rapidly gave a concern to how. That is, they knew what was happening. Now they wanted to know how it was happening. And accordingly, a paper of was given by Sutton as early as in 1902 and 1903, clearly pointing the way to the physical basis for the science of heredity. It was found that there exists a parallelism between Mendel's factors and the chromosomal behavior. Now, what was the parallelism? Alleles of a factor, that is two contrasting alleles, they always occurred in a pair in an individual, and similarly the chromosomes also occur in the pairs. Similar or dissimilar alleles, they separate, that is whether they are homozygous or zygous, they separate during the gamete formation, and similarly homologous chromosomes, they also separate during meiosis. Mendel's factor, they assorted out independently, that is, they had nothing to do with the other factor or the gene. The paired chromosomes, naturally, they separate independently during meiosis, but the linked gene in the same chromosome normally do not assort independently. So there was occurring a parallelism between Mendel's factor and the chromosomes, and this this gave, according to these experiments and according to the knowledge of the chromosome, there was the uh, development of a theory which was called as the Sutton and Boveri's theory, and came to be known as the chromosomal theory of inheritance. This is very important because the postulates of Sutton and Boveri's theory may appear today to be quite natural, and must come into your mind that this is quite natural that the chromosomes are occurring in pairs and the genes will also occur in pairs, but it was quite a miraculous discovery at that time. Since the sperm and the egg cells provide the only bridge between one generation to the other, all the hereditary characters must be carried in them. This was the first postulate of Sutton and Boveri's theory. They said that sperm cell loses practically all the cytoplasm in the process of maturation, as can be seen by observation under the microscopes. Since the sperms carry as much as heredity as the egg, therefore it must be carried through the nucleus. Chromosomes are found in pairs, so are the Mendel's factors. The union of sperm and egg with its single set of chromosome re-establishes for a new organism the whole number, two sets of the chromosomes previously seen in the body of the parent organism. This is what happens with the genes, exactly happens with the chromosomes. During cell division, chromosomes divide accurately. This gives the idea that genes are carried on the chromosomes. Chromosomes segregate at meiosis, which means the members of each pair separate and go to two different cells or the gametes. Mendel's factors also segregate at the time of formation of gametes. The members of the chromosomes pairs segregate independently of other chromosome pair. Mendelian genes also segregate independently. In other words, it will not be wrong to say that chromosome obeys Mendel's laws of inheritance. And Sutton and Boveri concluded their paper in 1902 with bold prediction, which I must quote here. I may finally call attention to the probability that the behavior of the chromosomes may constitute the physical basis of Mendel's laws of heredity. Truly, the door was thereby opened to the objective of examination of the physical mechanism of the genetic processes. Now, after the work done by Sutton and Boveri, various scientists they started working on the behavior of the chromosomes and how the genetics was carried out. And one such scientist was Thomas Hunt Morgan, commonly called as the Morgan, and his famous experiments with the Drosophila melanogaster, a fruit fly. He took the Drosophila melanogaster by a very conscious effort because this is a fly which is small in size, easy to culture, breed extremely fast, short generation time it has, and it has only 4 pairs of chromosomes, which made it quite easy for Morgan to study this behavior. And on the basis of the various experiments, he clarified various concepts of genetics which forms the modern genetics or the laid the foundation of the modern genetics. The first thing which was of the great importance that he did, he gave the concept of sex determination, that is whether the coming individual will be male or the female. The sex is a hereditary difference between the two individuals of the same species. Sex is one of the most conspicuous and interesting kinds of the hereditary differences observed among the individuals of the same species. Determination of sex is determined at the time of fertilization when the male and female gametes fuse together. Now let us see how does it occur in the human beings, popularly called as XXXY type of inheritance. Males form two types of gametes as you can see in this figure. Male forms two types of gametes X and Y. Uh, One gamete possesses X chromosomes, other lack it. In some cases, male possesses Y chromosome. Such males are known as the heterogametic. Females in such cases, they have only one type of the gamete because both the chromosomes, sex chromosomes, are the X type. Therefore, the XX and XY type of the inheritance occurs. Actually, in 1900, when the microscope technique had become well developed and the chromosome behavior was understood, it was noticed that there was one pair of the chromosomes that differed from the others. The female members were having This pair with the similar chromosome but differ in appearance in case of males. The two chromosomes that were alike in female were the same as one of the members of the unlike pair in the males. Chromosomes which were present in the pair in females and single in male were identified as X chromosomes. In males, the other chromosome was called as the Y chromosome. So the two sexes could be characterized as female XX and male XY. X chromosomes were first identified by Wilson and Stevens in the year 1905. The so-called XY system occurs not only in the humans but also in Drosophila and as well as in at least some plants, Lychnis, an angiosperm plant where the XY type of the sex determination prevails. Lychnis plant. X and Y chromosomes are called as the sex chromosomes and the remaining are called as the autosomes, and these one are called as the allosomes. Now this type of the this system that we have discussed just now is called as the XXXY system. Another system that we have understood fully, that is called as the X0XX type. Now, this system in 1902, an American scientist McClung reported that the somatic cells of the female grasshopper bears 24 chromosomes, whereas those of the males they contain 23 chromosomes. That is, in males one chromosome is lacking, and in many insects and in grasshopper this type of inheritance prevails, and to this we call X0. 0 means one chromosome is lacking. X0 XX type of the inheritance. As a result of meiosis, all the eggs they carry X chromosome, whereas only half the sperms with one and other half is having no sex chromosomes. Since the males produce two types of the gametes, X type and 0 type in X0 type and X and Y type in XY type. They are called as the heterogametic. Females are homogametic because females they are having only XX type of the inheritance, and such a inheritance was found in the grasshopper and several insects. So this is the way in which the sex determination was established. So in the next lecture we shall be discussing crossing over and linkage phenomena. Dear students, I have discussed with you that sex determination as suggested by Morgan, because it will enable you to understand the further topics, so you must go through these details and understand where how does the sex determination occurs in butterflies, moths and several other organisms. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much.